So welcome back to my channel. Hello, how's everybody doing today? It's Saturday morning. I wanted to come and make this video. A lot of people were in my Facebook inbox, my Instagram inbox, on YouTube, and just wanted me to kind of basically go all the way in detail, basically kind of step by step as far as how to become a medical coder. So I thought some of my other videos were I thought they were good enough as far as explaining how to become a medical coder, but obviously they were not. So I wanted to take time to create a video that was specifically geared on how to become a medical coder. That's it, no other subject. So again, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So the first slide is what is medical coding? So medical coding is when you're translating medical charts or documentations into code sets. As I explained it before in other videos, just like when you go to the doctor and you see the doctor writing something down on a piece of paper when he's talking to you, or when you see the doctor typing something into the computer. So they're just typing everything that you're saying, you're talking about, the reason you're in there, and they're also gonna put everything about the encounter on that form. So what you're gonna do as the medical coder, you're gonna translate those diagnosis codes you're gonna translate those diagnoses to codes. You're gonna translate the procedures or services that were performed. You're gonna translate those into codes too. There are two code sets that you're gonna use when you're talking about procedures or services that were performed. You will use HCPCS level 2 codes, which is basically like medical supplies, equipment, injectable medications, things like that. And you will also use the CPT code. And that describes like any surgeries, how it was performed, was it a level of difficulty that was required to perform the procedure, all of those things. There are two versions of the ICD-10 code book. The ICD-10-CM is primarily for physician offices and things like that. And then the ICD-10-PCS, those are codes used in facilities like hospitals, things like that. So the ICD-10 code, it tells the reason why, like why you're getting this procedure or why the doctor is performing this surgery or this service. And the HCPCS code and the CPT codes just let you know about the procedure or the service. So medical coding, the codes explain how it's performed, like I just said, and why it was being done. Now that you know the why and the how, make sure you know the date of service. The date of service is very, very, very important, especially when it comes to submitting the insurance claim to the insurance company. So it's going to be very important that the date of service is included on the chart. Now, each year, the codes are revised. Each year, a new code book comes out. They're either revised, deleted, added codes, or modified, or things like that. And actually, this month, the ICD-10 book drops. Every October, annually, it comes out a brand new book. There aren't really many changes in the book, but of course, there are a few changes. Sometimes they get more specific, or they delete code. So it just depends. And if you have a 2019 book, and if you're not preparing for the exam or anything like that, then you can basically just keep your 2019 book and go online and kind of get a PDF version of the new 2020 updates and kind of staple it in there. And it'll keep you from purchasing a whole nother book when there aren't many changes for the 2021 year. So steps to become a medical coder. So you're going to enroll in a credible medical coding program. You're going to finish the program. You're going to schedule the national exam once you finish the program, and once you prepare for the exam, you're going to schedule the exam. Once you schedule the exam, then you're going to take the coding exam. I told you guys I was going to give more detail about step by step. I didn't want to leave anything out this time. So after you take the exam, then you're going to pass the exam, because you can't become a certified coder. You can't become a medical coder if you're not certified. So you got to pass the exam. So once you pass the exam, dun, 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 you'll be certified. Oh, sorry, skipped some slides, sorry. So number 5, characteristics of a great coder: educated, does research, critical thinking, detail oriented, and you must have confidence. And that confidence comes with being educated, which is doing your research and going to webinars and seminars and things like that. That's going to keep you abreast of what's changing in the coder world. So one of the first things you want to ask yourself is why, excuse me, I keep skipping this thing. One thing you want to ask yourself is, why do I want to become a medical coder? A lot of times we try to do things that's not within our passion. And one thing I found, that if you operate within your niche, whatever you're good at, whatever your passion is, then the money will follow. So if you're looking for a bigger salary, you know, is that why you want to be a medical coder? The salary is good, so that could be a reason. But make sure you also have a passion for it, where this is not anything where you would get up in the morning time, dread clocking in, whether it's at home or whether it's on site somewhere. Also ask yourself, is it because I have the possibility of being flexible, of working from home? Is that why I want to be a medical coder? And then you're going to ask, you know, yourself, well, you know, do I want to be a medical coder since I'm already in the medical field, and I might as well advance or, you know, do some promoting of myself. So ask yourself, why is it that you want to be a medical coder? Because the answer is going to be very important to how successful you're going to be on your journey. So do your research. As you can see here, where I have the cursor, there are many medical coding certifications and 2 major coding organizations, which are the AAPC and AHIMA. Do your research also consists of research the job market for medical coding in your state. Look for salary information and make sure you understand exactly what medical coding is. So finding a school or a program. Woo! This is a touchy subject. This is a big subject. This is the most understood, this is the most misunderstood step in the process to becoming a medical coder. So let's talk about the school and the program, your options and things like that. So as far as finding a school, program, your options, you can go to vocational school. You can spend anywhere between 9 to 18 months there, where you take a medical coding or medical billing and coding course. And then you can also go directly through the AAPC or AHIMA. Now in this video, I'll talk directly about the CPC certification that you get through the AAPC. That's the certification I am certified through the AAPC. So I'll talk more about the certification that not the certification, or the organization that I'm most familiar with. Now, of course, I know AHIMA, I know about AHIMA, but I'm just more familiar with AAPC because I've been dealing with them for a while now, and my certification is under them. So you can go directly through, you can go to vocational schools, just like I mentioned, or trade schools, take 9 months, 6 months, 18 months, or you can go directly through the AAPC. If you go directly through the AAPC, the course is only 16 weeks. 16 weeks. So that means in 4 months, you will be completing the medical coding course and getting ready to prepare for your exam. So I talked about the length of the program. Like I mentioned, vocational schools are normally anywhere between 6 to 18 months. And going directly through the AAPC, or there are also approved instructors who partner with the AAPC. You can also go through them for the class, and it's also still 16 weeks. So let's talk about money. Money, 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 money. I'm sorry, this song came on my mind. I'm sorry. You know, everybody knows me. I'm a soundtrack type of person. I can just be in conversations with my friends or, you know, something going on. If they mention something and it's a song that goes to it or a song that relates, then I'll just bust out with a song. Sorry. So let's talk about cost. So if you're going to go to a vocational school or a trade school, the cost is going to be much, much more expensive. So when you go through those 6 months or 9 months, 9-month programs, of course, you're going to be eligible for financial aid, loans, things like that. Those programs can cost you anywhere between about, I'll say roughly about 10 or 11,000. It's depending on your state, what school is it, things like that, of course. But the typical price when you're going to go to a vocational or a trade school and spend those 6 to 18 months, then you're going to pay anywhere between 10 and 11,000, all the way up to possibly $20,000 for a coding certification at a vocational or trade school. However, if you go directly through the AAPC, and I guess I can just go ahead and just go into the advantages here, since we're talking about advantages and disadvantages. So if you go directly through the AAPC, you're not going to spend $10,000, $11,000 at the least and 20 at the most. You're going to spend about $3,000 to $3,500 at the most if you go through the AAPC. And then if you find an improved instructor through the AAPC, a lot of those instructors have payment plans. And a lot of those programs are around anywhere between $1,100 and maybe $2,000. I saw some around $2,200, but they're not as expensive as going directly through the AAPC, and it's the exact same curriculum because these instructors are approved by the AAPC to teach their course. Another thing to consider when you're thinking about a vocational program versus another type of program that takes 16 weeks, you want to consider, do you learn at a fast pace? Oh, I'm sorry. As you see it here, it is spelled wrong. Did I change it here? Oh, it deleted it. I'm just all in the middle of the video. I didn't even proofread it. Sorry. Oh, here it goes. Here it is. Once I see the mistake, I can change it on the spot. So do you learn at a fast pace? If you learn at a fast pace and if you're very disciplined, then you can do the 16-week program through the AAPC. It wouldn't be any problem for you to log on, still deal with your everyday life, your personal things, your family things, your job things, your professional things. So that'll be fine. But if you're a person that you have a hard time finishing things that you start, you have a lot of distractions as far as job, maybe children, you don't have enough time in a day. So if that's your situation, then you may want to find a vocational school that stretches the length of the program anywhere between 9 and 18 months. And that way you won't be trying to cram all of this information in your brain with all the other things that you have going on for 16 weeks. So the bottom line, a lot of people are like, what? A degree is always good. What are you talking about? You know, okay, so let me explain this. Before y'all come and chop off my head, I have degrees, so I'm not against student loans. I'm not against degrees or anything like that. So let me tell you what my approach is and why. So the bottom line here says, why is an associate's degree in medical coding a waste of time and money? Okay, let me tell you this. With medical coding, they rarely care about degrees. Now, if you get a certification from AHIMA, a few of their certifications, they require you to have a degree first before you can even sit for their exam. But for the AAPC, you do not need a degree to get certified. They recommend that you have experience. They recommend a whole lot of things, but they don't require that you already have a degree. So when you go and spend this extra money at this trade school, this extra $15,000, $20,000 on top of just a regular diploma in medical coding, when you get this degree in medical coding, you're racking up all of these bills. The job that you're going to apply for once you're done with your courses, They don't care about a medical coding associate's degree. They care if you have your CPC. They care if you have your CCS. They care if you have your CRC. They only care if you are certified. If you look at Indeed.com or you look at LinkedIn or Monster or ZipRecruiter, there aren't really many employers that are asking you to have an associate's degree in medical billing coding, because you can have an associate's degree in medical coding and not be certified. If you're not certified, a lot of jobs will not hire you, so your degree would not matter. So I'm not saying don't go for the degree, because if you want a degree in medical coding, by all means, go ahead and get your degree. Please don't let me stop you or discourage you or anything like that. I was just letting you know that you'll be spending more time, more money, more effort, more energy, and there aren't employers that's looking for that. So now I told you all of the steps to become a medical coder. So let me just go into and tell you about my personal experience a little bit. So as I told you guys, I have my CPC certification. I've been coding about 6 years. I have experience in different specialties. I've coded family practice, OBGYN. Now I'm an HCC coder, and I'm working for United Healthcare. So I have a pediatrics, orthopedic, endocrinology. So I have a variety of experience in different specialties. So why did I choose medical coding as a career? So as many of you guys know, I do resumes, job, career coaching, strategizing, and things like that to help people, raise or increase their wages, become more valuable. Because a lot of times we talk about the money that we want the jobs to pay us, but we don't have the skills and we don't give jobs the reason to want to pay us that. We just have the attitude, oh, if I'm going to work and showing up, I need $50 an hour. I don't have any skills or anything like that, but just because I'm being there, I need this. So we got to get away from that type of attitude and be more realistic. You can get those $50 an hour, not disputing it. What I'm saying is give your employer or give employers or your potential employers, give them a reason to want to pay you $50 an hour. Have some skills or have something that is in demand or a lot of people don't have. And that guarantees you an increase in your wages. It's just a lot of little things, a lot of little strategizing ways that, you can kind of build a career instead of having a job and kind of like work your way up to some things and, kind of have a career going. So I chose medical coding as a career because I've been in the medical field for a while in different things. I've been a pharmacy tech, I've done direct care, I've done business office, responsibilities at a long-term care facility. So I've done a lot. I was a care coordinator at one of the largest fertility clinics in Atlanta. So, in the country, I'll say that. So I've been in the medical field for a while, but I wasn't satisfied with my pay. I was topping out maybe at like $18, $19. I could never really get to $20. It's like every job I was applying for, no matter how much experience I have, you're overlooking my degrees or anything. It's like you didn't want to quite let me make $20. So my thing was, instead of being upset, when nobody wants to pay me or what's going on, I just kind of self-evaluated to say, well, what is it that I need to do to make them want to pay me? And so I actually was going to go back to school and get another degree. And I ended up talking to one of my girlfriends who's a coder. And she was like, have you thought about going for coding? So I was like, no, I never thought about coding, which I hadn't. I never even had a clue. It's just all the intricacies of medical coding, the salaries, the advantages. I didn't have a clue. So she was telling me more about it. And she also showed me her yearly statements from like the Social Security office, where they tell you, this is how much you made this year. If you're to become disabled right now, this is how much money we'll send you every month, like your summary. So she showed me her summary, you guys. And my girlfriend was making up to $220,000 annually from coding. And I was like, wow, this is for me. Because of course, the only reason I was going back to school is to make more money. So why would I go back all these years to get a degree? Well, let's take a year and a half of my master's or whatever the case is. Why would I go back and spend years for a degree when I can spend 16 weeks for a medical coding certification and probably make more money with this certification than I ever could with a degree. So, and that's what's happening now. This certification has made me more money than my degrees. So that's why I chose medical coding as a career. Which certification do I have? I told you guys I am certified through the AAPC. I have my CPC certification, and I am currently enrolled in the CIC, which is the certified inpatient, which is like hospitals, facilities, things like that. I'm studying for my CIC and my CPB, the Certified Professional Biller. So I'll have my CPC, which is the Certified Professional Coder. I have a certification in billing, and I have a certification in inpatient. And once I'm done with that, and I love HCC coding, you guys, not to get off the topic, but I love HCC coding because you're only dealing with diagnostic codes. You're not dealing with all of those other codes that we mentioned in the prior slides, the HCPC codes, the CPT codes. When you're HCC coding, which stands for hierarchy of condition categories, you're only gonna use the diagnosis code. So I love that. So that's the certification I have, the CPC. I'm getting those certifications, and once I'm done, I'm going to get the CRC, which is the Risk Adjustment Certification, Certified Risk Adjustment Coder. So was the medical coding course hard? You know, I'm always a positive person, and not to ever be superficial, but I find a positive in everything. It's not really too many things I'm going to say it's negative or, you know, just things like that. So medical coding was very challenging. This was more challenging than any college course I've ever, with all capital letters and exclamation marks. Exclamation marks. This was harder than any course I've ever taken. It was challenging, but it was because it's just so detail oriented. You have to understand, in doing this job, you're responsible for the physicians getting paid. You can put the wrong code and you can cause the doctor to get audited, or you can cost them money. And if you're going to put the wrong codes quite frequently, that means you're costing that practice money every time you apply the wrong code. So coding is going to be very important. What school did I attend? I attended Care Coding Training Academy. It was an approved instructor through the AAPC. I just wanted to branch off and go through an approved instructor instead of going directly through the AAPC, which is still the same thing. Like I said, she has to be approved. They have the same curriculum. She works with them. She's an affiliate. But I guess I wanted to direct that personal connection with someone that I would just talk to all the time instead of taking a course through the AAPC and maybe getting a different person to help me with what I need. I just wanted to have a personal experience because I knew the journey was going to be very new. And I actually wanted somebody to kind of hold my hands with the process since the journey was new. So that's the school I attended. I took 16 weeks. Would I recommend a medical terminology course first? Yes. Duh. Even if you are in the medical field or have been in a while and you feel like, I know everything I need to know about medical terminology, I don't need to take the course. No, please don't take that approach. When you're transitioning into medical coding or this is new for you, please don't think any information is trivial. Take in and retain all information. It's all going to be important. Even if you don't understand it now, just make sure you take heed and you understand that it may be some information that you need in the long run. So I definitely would recommend you take a medical terminology course because as you're coding, once you're certified or once you get that job, when you're reading these medical charts, it'll take time for you to look up all of these medical terms if you don't understand. Now, I'm not saying you should memorize like every medical term there is, but you should, what I am saying is you should know the basics of medical terminology that will allow you to know what that word means, even if you have never saw that word again. For example, rhinoplasty. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, rhinoplasty. Rhinoplasty is like a nose job or a nose repair or something like that. So I know rhino means nose. I know plasty means repair, any kind of surgical repair. So I don't care whatever medical chart I'm looking at, where is that? If I see the word rhino, I know it has to do with your nose. If I see the word plastic, I know there's some kind of repair of something. You know, so just learning those basic terms, that it'll go a long way as far as you getting acclimated to learning new things and becoming a medical coder. So this is the big thing I want to talk about. How long did it take me to find a medical coding job? I hear a lot of people say, don't get your expectations up. You're not going to find a job. It's going to take you too long. I'm sorry. I just call those people negative Nancy's. You can be realistic without killing somebody's dream. What I always say is, like I'm about to say now, take a realistic approach. Just because, and also take heed to what somebody else is saying you that has experience in the same field, but that doesn't mean listening to this person and allow them to make their experience become yours. Example, I heard a lot of people say before I signed up for coding, you might not want to do that. It's gonna be hard for you to find a job. I'm sorry, I keep doing these voices, you guys. It's just so so you know, you're gonna find a lot of people that's saying, you know, it's gonna be hard for you to find a job. You may not want to do that. Da 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 da. You know, this. So I will take heed to somebody telling me that when they did tell me that, but I didn't let it just be ingrained in my mind where I felt like that was going to be my experience. So when somebody comes to me and tell me, well, I've been certified for 3 years, I can't find a job, I don't know what's going on. My first thought isn't, well, wow, the medical coding field is drying up. No, my first thought is your resume good? Because your resume is going to depend on if somebody call you back, because they don't know you, hadn't saw you, they don't know your work ethic or anything. So the first thing they see of you is your resume. And if your resume is not attractive, they're not going to call you back. So is it, you've been looking for a job, medical coding job 3 years because your resume isn't good, so that's why nobody's calling you back? Or if your resume is good and you make it to the interview and you still don't have a job, well, do you interview well? You know, did you get in there and you get nervous and that blew it for you? So don't just automatically take somebody else's word to be like, oh, you're not gonna find this or you're not gonna do this. Like, take heed, of course, but don't make their experience your experience. So to answer the question, how long did it take me to find a job after I took the course or certified or whatever? So this is how my story went. I'm a very determined and ambitious person. I like to stay 10 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead of what's going on, because I don't like to be caught off guard. I like to try to have very small marginal error, so I will have small things to recover from. So I try to be proactive instead of reactive. So as I knew my coding course was coming to an end, now keep in mind I had not coded at all at first. So when I knew my coding course was coming to an end, I started searching for jobs. This is another thing that I want you guys to take away from this video if you do not take anything else away from this video. Always try. Don't give up and let somebody else tell you no. Don't tell yourself no, because that could be your mind playing tricks on you. Dun, 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 dun. So I told you this is bust out this song, I'm sorry. So it could be your mind playing tricks on you. You know, so be mindful of that. So what I did was, when I saw the course was ending, I started applying for jobs. I saw this one job, it said, do not apply if you're not certified. Do not apply if you don't have experience. Well, I wasn't certified. I had just finished the course in December. This was like January, or like right as I was finishing the course. And didn't have the certification, didn't have the experience. I didn't have nothing. But you know what your girl did? Your girl still applied for the job. Like, the supervisor at the head command center is going to have to tell me no. And then I'll be okay with it, you know. So I applied for the job. I went on the interview. I let them know I had just finished the course. I had my portfolio together. So, you know, you guys, I do resumes and cover letters and stuff. So, you know, that was on point. So I went in there, I had all this stuff together. My talk game was on point because I know how to interview well. Da, da, da. Keep in mind, they said if you wasn't experienced or certified, don't even waste your time applying. Literally, it said it in all caps on the advertisement. How about your girl got the job? So I got the job and it was for $24.50. Now keep in mind, I was just telling you guys I couldn't make it over the salary hump to get to the $20. So another thing I do is as far as strategizing when I'm looking for jobs. Now I know this is videos about how to become a medical coder, but I had to give you this tip. I didn't want to leave this out while I was fresh on my brain. So when I go from one job to the next job and they ask me, well, how much were you making at your other job? Ma'am, I'm not going to tell you how much I was making on my other job because then you're going to try to pay me that or less. No, ma'am. You better fake it till you make it. I know you heard that before, you guys. So if, let's just say, for example, I'm starting for a new company, I'm going to an interview and things like that. So when they say, hey, how much were you making on your last job? I'm going to always tell them at least $2 to $3 more than what I was actually making. So now that means that person has to meet, especially if they really want me to work at their company, then they at least have to meet and match what my last job was paying me. And that means I'm getting a raise already because they think I make $2 more. And then on top of whatever else they decide to give me. So I always say that you make like $2 or $3 more, maybe, you know, to stretch it out, get you a little money. I ain't telling you to lie, nothing. Don't lie on applications. Don't say I said that. You know, I'm just saying I'm trying to help you get some more money. So don't put me in the criminal bucket for that. So basically, I'll say how long it take me to find a job. It only took me a month and a half after I was finished with the course. That's why I say it depends on your own determination. Because a lot of people say they can't find a job until they're certified. No, you have to have talk game, have your resume, have your cell phone point to make somebody want to give you a chance. So what's been my salary? I'll tell you this, since I've been certified with medical coding, on the lowest end, I had a job to pay me $18 an hour. And on the highest end, I've had jobs pay me $65 an hour. So it just depends on the specialty, what's going on, who you're coding for, the company, things like that. So I wanted to end this video with a quote. And it says, remember, there is never a perfect time to grow. And when the time comes, just let it happen. I wanted to end the video in saying this because a lot of times, and maybe some of you on this video are experiencing this, you may have supposed to been starting coding a long time ago, but things kept coming up, whether your mom got sick or you had another child or you didn't have enough money to start or whatever the case may have been. We always tend to try to put things off until the perfect time. There is never a perfect time to do anything. Sometimes when opportunities present themselves, we just have to take a little bit of that opportunity and create our own. So as you're on your journey to become a medical coder, or if you just became a medical coder by passing your certification, congratulations on everything that you're choosing to do. Congratulations on being ambitious. Congratulations on being determined enough to make this a career for you. So thank you so much for joining me again. As I said earlier, when I started the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.